Today is Tuesday. This is NTCertified. Just got home from work. Decided to come straight up here to the game room to get this video uploaded. Last week I was in Orlando for WrestleMania weekend. As you all know, if you've seen my recent previous videos, I was in Orlando for WrestleMania. Had an awesome time. Posted a video of my video game pickups that happened down in Orlando. But wow, I have a hobby of collecting video games. I also have a hobby of collecting wrestling figures. So of course, while I'm down in Orlando, I'm not only looking for retro games, I'm also looking for action figures to add to my collection that's steadily growing and growing. I truly think I have a problem. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into last week's pickups from down in Orlando. And I have quite a few. Surprised that I even was able to fit them in my bag. I did take an empty bag down to Orlando because I was pretty much sure that I was going to come back with a lot of stuff. But we're going to start big and we're going to end big. So first things first, WWE Elite Brian Pillman. So where did I find Brian Pillman? I actually got him from WWE Access. He was on the shelf, and this is part of the Elite collection, but it's also a WCW Elite. And it looks like on the back you have Kane, The Rock, Goldust, Connor and Victor of the Ascension, and then Brian Pillman. If you remember one of my previous videos, they all came with this little panoramic background that comes in the box, and if you set them all next to each other, it creates like a visual, and then all the figures sit on that that panorama or diorama, I think is what it's called. But Flying Brian Pillman, and of course he comes with, you know, a t-shirt. I like all my elites to come with, you know, special items. And what I remember about Brian Pillman was that he had a lot of charisma and he was super athletic. He was a little bit before my time. I watched wrestling around '96 as a kid, off and on with my grandpa, watching like Superstars on Saturday mornings. But I really didn't get into it until '98, and unfortunately he had passed away by that point. But I've watched a lot of his matches, and before he had his, you know, accident and everything, he was an amazing star, and he was even amazing after, you know, he had his accident. And I loved his character in WWF. You know, then he joined the Heart Foundation, and then, you know, he passed away. But fond memories of Brian Pillman. Second figure is going to be an elite, I'm sorry, not an elite, a basic figure. And this is a basic AJ Styles. Also picked this up from Access as well. And the reason that I picked up this basic figure is because of the attire that's painted onto AJ. I like the red with the white kick pads and the black AJ Styles, you know, text on the side of his shorts. So I decided to pick it up because, I don't know, red kind of stands out. They say it's an aggressive color, so I guess it really stood out to me. So I had to pick this up. And I'm noticing that they all have this like signature on the back, like they're actual duplicate signatures. So if you ever get an AJ Styles signature and you buy it online and it doesn't look like this, that means it's fake. Next up, WWE Hall of Fame King Booker. Now, I saw this online, I want to say a couple weeks ago, and I hadn't even known that they had released a King Booker, you know, Hall of Fame elite figure until then. So I was able to find him in Walmart, actually. Found him in Walmart and had to pick him up because Booker T is one of those classic guys who could always put on a great match, and he was funny, he was athletic, he had the look, he pretty much had everything. And this is when he actually won the World Championship, his only World Championship in WWE. Of course, he's a five-time WCW champion. But I was happy to pick this up. And then it looks like you have we have Sting, Jerry Lawler, and Edge also in this Hall of Fame line. So let's keep it moving with Sting. Part of the same line that Booker T is a part of, or King Booker's a part of, and once again, there's that aggressive red color that pulled me right on in. When I saw this figure on the shelf, I had to take this off the peg and throw it into my basket and bring it home. I mean, this is the red jacket that he wore to WrestleMania, I believe. I believe he wore a red jacket to WrestleMania. Maybe I'm wrong. I have to go back and look at that, but it also looks like one of the red jackets that he used to wear when he was in TNA. But regardless, it's a Hall of Fame Elite Sting figure, and it comes with the jacket and the bat. I like my extras. Edge. Hall of Fame Elite Edge. So now I have King Booker and Sting and Edge now. Now, this one's special to me personally. If you don't know this, Edge is my favorite wrestler ever. And then Chris Jericho is a close second. But Edge is my guy. He will always be my guy. There's nobody ever taking his space. I mean, he came into wrestling and he earned his spot and he worked his way to the top. And he just did an amazing job. Like, if I ever wanted to have a wrestling career, I would want to be like Edge, because he did some amazing things in wrestling. Now, why this is so special to me is because this was the exact attire that he wore to WrestleMania 24, I believe. This is his WrestleMania 24 attire that he wore when he faced The Undertaker in the main event of WrestleMania, which was his one and only WrestleMania main event, which is special to me because that was my first WrestleMania in person, and my favorite wrestler was in the main event of WrestleMania. He didn't come out on top, which was cool, but to see him, you know, in that spot after watching him for so many years, especially when I first started watching, he was brand new, fresh on the scene, and he worked his way up, and he did it, and that's my favorite attire of his, and always will be. I mean, this is probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite, WWE figures at this point. Is the camera blurry? Looks like it might be a little blurry. Anyway, and to complete the Hall of Fame collection, I have Jerry the King Lawler. Until I posted this, or until I started recording this video, I had no clue that I had the whole set of the Hall of Fame figures. It just happened to play out that way. I just happened to find them all on a shelf. Now, this is classic Jerry the King Lawler. If you remember when he came to WWF, I want to say it was maybe... I can't even remember when Lawler came into WWF to wrestle. But I remember one of his main feuds was against Bret Hart. And they had this Kiss My Foot match. I'm not sure if that was at King of the Ring. But around that time, during the summer, they had this Kiss My Foot match. And Bret Hart, like, stuck his toes in Jerry Lawler's mouth. And it was just... It was nasty. Disgusting. But I also found this one online, so I had to go ahead and grab this one as well for the price that it sells for. Sometimes when you buy things online, they don't always go for a fair price, but I was lucky enough to find this Jerry Lawler figure online for a fair price, so I went ahead and I ordered it, and it came in the mail. And my last figure for this week's WWE figure pickups, and I picked this up from WrestleMania Access as well. This is a defining moments. Shinsuke Nakamura. Shinsuke freaking Nakamura. Who debuted on SmackDown last week, by the way. And he'll be on SmackDown tonight. Looking forward to seeing who's coming over from Raw to SmackDown. But he has a red jacket. And then he has his red attire. But he also has a black jacket as well. So you can like swap those out. And it looks like in the back, I'm not sure if you can see that, but you can take off his little like wrist tie as well. And this is really cool. This is really cool because I hadn't seen this yet until I saw it at Access. And they always have a special figure or a couple special figures at Access that you typically don't see until, you know, a couple weeks later when they do like a mass production. Like, I remember a couple years ago at WrestleMania 30, I got like a Defining Moments Bret Hart, and they also had a Shawn Michaels. But I chose between one or the other because I couldn't fit both into my bag. But this year I came prepared, and I picked up a handful of these figures, and I got this bad boy right here, and I love it. So as always, this is NT Certified. Thank you for watching. Thanks for stopping by. Please like, please comment. If you like my videos, go ahead and subscribe. Always looking for new subscribers to talk about wrestling and to talk about games and just hobbies in general. Let's just have fun with this. That's what this is about. I know I'm loving it, and I'm hoping you are too. So, until next time, peace.